let's talk about the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Jake and I had a huge argument over this today.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your number one quarterback in the NFL?
I mean, right now, I think Tua is having the best season. I think the best quarterback in the NFL is still Patty Mahomes, though.
I think it's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think that everyone freaked out over that Jet game and the 2 interceptions, and I'm just not concerned. Sure, did he have a bad game? Sure, they still won the game. And did they win it by a close margin? Yes, but they still won the game.
Yep.
It's a W.
Yep.
And to me, you pull up, the stats for all these different quarterbacks. Ultimately,
Man, I didn't realize Tua's at 1,300 yards.
Yeah, dude.
Stafford's at 1,229.
Yeah, and the thing about Tua that really stands out to me is the completion number. He's done that on only 97 completions.
What is it? 71% completion
Wild,
percentage.
Bro.
71%.
I think he's not getting enough credit for what he's done physically. Yes, he's throwing the ball. The tape study's clearly paying off. The ability to alleviate the concussion problem, I think, is yeoman's work. It is. When you're playing in the NFL and you're a concussion guy and you found a way not to be that to me is incredible.
Yeah, I think it is. I do think it. That's what I'm waiting for on Tua. But if I had to pick this Justin Herbert story over the weekend, Justin Herbert's not the best quarterback in the NFL. Did you hear about the Justin Herbert injury? Justin Herbert got his hand caught in a face mask, broke his finger, and ripped his fingernail off, not only from the tip of his finger, but all the way up to his cuticle and beyond. And he said to the guy, "I don't care what you have to do. I'm going back in the game." They wanted him to go in back and get x-rayed. He was like, "Nope, let's go." So they put a glove on the hand and pulled the nail all the way off in the blue tent. Whatever they had to do to wrap that fingernail, and then put the glove on and put a splint over his finger with the glove on his hand. So they splinted over the glove onto the finger. And what did he do? He came back in the game and threw them to a win. Like, that's why I love that guy.
I'm a man.
Not only is he a beautiful passer of the football,
yeah,
unbelievable.
Grit.
But let's talk about the top 10 quarterbacks. Because I think I would have to go Patrick Mahomes number 1. I don't think it's even close to anybody else that's number 2. But it's pretty tough to go number 2 from there. If you look at Josh Allen completing 75% of his passes, how is Josh Allen not number 2?
Yeah.
I think he's got to be number 2. And I know this is going to be crazy. I think Tua's number 3. I think Brock Purdy is number 4. And you guys are going to think I'm just speaking out of turn. Right now, today, I think Josh Dobbs in Arizona is playing the 5th best quarterback in the NFL. What he's doing in Arizona, and I know that's crazy because I haven't put Herbert there yet. What Josh Dobbs is doing for the Arizona Cardinals, here and now today, not all time, not...
Yeah, we're talking about today.
Today through 4 weeks in the NFL. I would have no problem having Josh Dobbs as my starter instead of Justin Fields. I would love that, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Dobbs is an operator. And once you see him play, then I think it's really difficult because I think now you're into a Justin Herbert. Certainly Dak Prescott. Certainly Jalen Hurts has to be in that conversation.
Yep.
I don't know what you guys make of Kirk Cousins. He's having an unbelievable season.
Well, I think the name that's missing, rightfully so, is Joe Burrow. What the hell happened to Joe Burrow?
He's not. He can't throw the football. You can see he cannot drive the foot. He's a leg thrower of the football.
Yeah.
He is not somebody that. He is not somebody that. How do I say this? He's not somebody that can get away arm throwing the football off a back. He's not like Justin Herbert and I just watch a ton of Justin Herbert, can get away with throwing off his back foot 7 yards to the flat because he's got a rocket for an arm. Joe Burrow needs his lower half and his upper half, and he needs to drive the football.
Yeah.
I think that calf has taken his ability to drive the football, and he is not a confident quarterback.
Yeah, and that to me is what's, it's made more room for guys. I think, Kirk Cousins had a nice weekend. There's going to be a lot of people that say right now today Baker should be on this list. My trouble with Baker, and I'm even a Baker guy, my trouble with Baker is I need to see more. For me, you haven't done enough in the league to justify being a top 10 quarterback with this small of a sample size. Whereas, with any of these names we've just mentioned, these guys have all performed. It's pretty legit. I can, with certainty and reliability, say that these guys are here. But I think that some of the other names that I think are massive disappointments, look, Daniel Jones last night was a mess.
Huge disappointment.
It's not all on him, but it's a really bad look to get paid and then to come out here and look lost. Joe Burrow just got paid, but what's the difference? He's done some things for that franchise now, right?
Yeah.
And he can afford to have a bad season.
Would it surprise you to know that Zach Wilson has a higher percentage than Joe Burrow?
Completion percentage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
How wild is that?
And look, Zach's another guy because I think, you look around at like the worst situations in the league. Obviously, Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, obviously Justin Fields. Those three to me are the three major ones. Mac Jones, okay, we can, I guess, if you want to throw him in there, but I just think that's a different thing.
Look at Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford he's 1,200 yards, but he's only 62%, 3 touchdowns and 5 picks.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good quarterback play. And everybody is enamored with what he's done and how tough the Rams have been. Imagine if that was 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions and 67%. Like I'm telling you, there is some abnormal numbers. You look at Sam Howell being sacked 24 times, Daniel Jones, and I'm not trying to defend Daniel Jones here on the Monty Show as we talk about the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Daniel Jones has been sacked 22 times.
100%.
Like he has no time, and when you get time, then you hold the ball.
Yeah.
Like it's wild to me. Gregory Krug says Brock has a Purdy mouth. See what he did there, Brock Purdy.
Right.
Tarrant County boy says Kyler Murray to the no. Edgar says haha and Dobbs, dude, he is playing really well. He was one of the better quarterbacks this past weekend, man. It is. Yeah, Tarrant County says he has the best hairline. He does without any. Jeff Woodward, Keith forgetting that dude up in Philly, Jalen Hurts. And it's too bad that Tanner's not here, but I feel like I'm the only one that ever defends Jalen Hurts. The guy is a legitimate MVP candidate.
Yeah.
Because they are, man, it's the 49ers and the Eagles, those defenses, and I just think the 49ers have a little bit better defense.
Yeah.
Right? Salamini, you just gave Chicago a terrible idea for their number 1 pick next year, going for Dobbs. I shouldn't have said that out loud, right? Domer Wop for $20.
Domer.
Oh, boy. I'm sorry, Jake. I just put in a Babies R Us order for a booster seat. He just cannot get over the fact that you are just...
Yeah, I'm not fucking 6'10".
Excuse your French.
Use my French.
Don't hate me because you've got a producer that was fired from the Today Show because Matt Lauer looked like tattoo under Savannah Guthrie. What the... How much have you been drinking today,
dude,
sir?
What are you doing,
What
dude?
has Matt Lauer got to do with anything?
Yeah, dude.
My God.
Just take a dice at AC, okay? Just relax.
LV Seminole, Jalen Hurts is a leader of men. Can't help but root for him, right?
100%.
Jalen Hurts is a guy you want to see do well. Joseph says Seahawks sacked Jones 11 times.
Brutal.
That was one of the most And did you see Adams last night?
Mm-hmm.
What 8 snaps, knee in the head, out, concussion.
Yeah, and he was pissed with the neurologist, dude, on the sideline there.
It's such a long season. Ron Nolan, that was babyface Wilson's coming out game. Drop passes and rigged refs didn't let it happen. Worst call ever. The non-holding and then holding call on the same play. Come on. But let's talk about Zach Wilson. What's your confidence level in Zach Wilson right now?
I mean, I think that I'm confident that he could go out and play like that again. I think when you consider the factors, hey, he was likely playing for his career.
He was.
One.
I agree.
Two, it's a primetime game. This wasn't some, morning kickoff on a Sunday game. So everybody was watching, which absolutely matters. I think when you consider the fact that, he was just in the right state of mind. And I think that's what we really have to consider here. Zach Wilson has for a long time, until Aaron Rodgers showed up. Zach Wilson was a guy that nobody liked because he liked Zach Wilson too much.
But was there a correlation between Aaron Rodgers being there and Zach Wilson playing well? How could there not be?
Yeah, I think absolutely there was. I think he's mentored him, and I think, I don't know that right in this moment, Aaron was the reason that the play upticked a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that it was more of a thing where Zach knew he was playing for his life, man, and he needed to. And again, I hate saying this, but I think it's true. He needed to not be the reason they lost the game.
Yes,
he needed to play well, and he needed to the talking points on Zach Wilson coming out of that game needed to be, hey, he played well. And if they lost, hey, he put it on his guys. There were drops. It wasn't on Zach. Zach did what Zach had to do, and I think he did that. And I think, what's my confidence level? I think he can play like that again. What are the odds? Probably 60-40. Honestly, it's not much more than that.
I look at their schedule. The Broncos, you should win that game. Your defense is good enough to win that game.
But for Zach should be able to play well against that defense.
He should, but then you're home for the Eagles, at the Giants, home for the Chargers, at the Raiders, at the Bills, Dolphins. Good night. This is not a playoff team.
No.
And for those of you who didn't see it, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show. He's on every Tuesday. And he said he's working fully with the intention of playing again this year. And I'm just asking you, why? Why would you come back and play this year for the Jets? And I'm not trying to be a red ass or a jerk about it, but if you are the New York Jets, I mean you're 1-3 right now. Your chances of going to the playoffs, not the Super Bowl, your chances of going to the playoffs are about 0. You're not winning that division. That's all over with. Let's just put it to bed.
Yeah, you're playing for a wild card. That's your only hope.
And the chances of that. You look at the numbers right now. Come on, guys. Why, if you are the Jets, are you allowing Aaron Rodgers to talk about coming back this season? Like, I don't understand that. You look at how good this conference is right now. The Jets are 1-3 with Denver, Cincinnati, Las Vegas, and New England. They are a game back of the Chargers, who are better than the Jets. The Titans are not better than the Jets. They're on level. The Jaguars. What is wrong with Jacksonville? Jacksonville, you would certainly think should be able to score more than they have scored, but they haven't, right? Are you better than the Browns? What about the washcloth king of America? Because DTR was not good for Cleveland this weekend. They need Deshaun Watson, however mediocre he is. But that's not a playoff team.
No.
Right? So
Not yet.
if you look at teams that legitimately have a chance at the playoffs, CJ Stroud's been nothing short of a revelation for Houston. They could make a run, no doubt about it. Is Pittsburgh a playoff team?
Potentially.
Pickett has a bone bruise, no damage to that knee.
Yeah.
So he will likely play this week. Indianapolis is not a playoff team. Miami, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Kansas City, solid
all playoff
gold.
Teams.
Solid gold. There's nobody in that 1-3 group where I'm like, oh, yeah, the Raiders, Bengals, Broncos, oh, they're coming. No, they're not. No, they're not. I look at the real contenders for the playoffs. I think the only dark horse here is Jacksonville. But I think it is, if you don't go on a run here as the Jets and win, what, like 4 or 5? But how are you going to do that? Okay, at the Broncos is 1. You're losing to the Eagles.
Yeah.
You're losing at the Giants.
Are you?
Yes.
Dude,
I'm telling you, the Giants are not as bad as they looked.
Well, we've been saying that all season. I mean, I'm not going to write that off as a loss.
You have the second best defense in the division and the worst offense in the division. And I'm not willing to believe that somehow Zach Wilson's turned a corner. Do it again and win the Bronco game by two scores.
I agree. But I think if we're going to say that, then we need to use that same logic on the Giants in the sense that, okay, hey, show me that you're not that bad. It's not good. That offensive line is just garbage, man.
Yeah. Fat Jesus wants to know if we're forgetting that Kyler Murray will return to the Cardinals.
No, we're not forgetting.
We have been talking about Josh Dobbs today. What do you do with Josh Dobbs when Kyler Murray comes back? Don't you slow play Kyler Murray because of how well Josh Dobbs played? Yeah,
Kyler, why don't you come back next year?
Let's make sure that ACL is 101,000%.
Well, and don't we have recently entered rehab footage too of Lil Kyler?
Okay. Why do you make me play this? Why do you make me play this?
Pick it up.
Look at the little guy working out here.
Exclusive Kyler Murray rehab video here.
Yeah, dude. Look at him.
See, Fat Jesus shows up, and this is what happens. Look at that. Ass to grass on that knee already, man.
Yeah, knee looks good, dude.
Yeah, they must be slow playing him.
Yeah.
3,
You know.
go.
Look at the face.
Yeah,
Get it,
dude.
Kyler.
Get it, dude.
Get it, Kyler.
Yeah,
Let's
boy.
go, Kyler.
Get it.
I love it. I love it. Love
That's
it.
right,
Love
T.
it. And then there's Aaron Rodgers. There he is. Made his return to the Jets on
wow,
Saturday.
look at the Achilles, dude.
Boy, that Achilles looks good. That Achilles looks good, dude. See, Fat Jesus shows up and bad things happen. Alex Smith says, "Did Daniel Jones have a bad game?"
Is that really a question, dude? Seriously, is that a question?
I don't know. Well, I think it is a question because I'm not the guy. There were so many people today who were like, "Oh, Daniel Jones is a waste of a contract." I don't think it's fair to say that. If you're gonna, he got sacked 10 times for 59 yards.
Yeah, but
Man, like he was your leading rusher, right? Like Matt Breida is your leading receiver. You got dominated on the offensive line. How much of that was Daniel Jones? Because I don't believe that it was all on Daniel Jones.
it wasn't all. It's never all on one guy. But the offensive line stuff is tough for me because there are other quarterbacks in the league that deal with a crappy offensive line. The difference is they can run away. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but the ability to run away and buy yourself an extra second, let's say, is truly the difference between scoring no points and scoring 14. I mean, what does Patrick Mahomes do all game? Runs around. If he couldn't run around,
I get it. Daniel Jones, I think you're asking him to do. You take Saquon Barkley out of any quarterback's offense, and I don't know how you replace Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he's the reason that they're going to win. I don't think that performance last night was all on Daniel Jones. There's no way. Jimmy Otson, what's up, Jimmy? Kyler Murray is working out hard right now.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Gary Wolf, Giants been blown out in 3-4 games. They have. I'm not, again, you guys, they're 1-3. They haven't won a home game yet, right? And the losing to the Cowboys 40-0, 30-12 to the Niners, 24-3 last night to the Hawks. Like, I'm not saying they're good.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones isn't that bad, and I think he is being vilified. And he's a quarterback who got paid. You earn that kind of attention when your teams lose. But let's look at it in totality. You take Saquon Barkley out of that lineup. Come on now. Come on. Matt Breida is no Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones is not the greatest quarterback ever, but he certainly is not the worst in the league.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Joseph, Giants next 2 games, Dolphins and Bills. 1-3 just became 1-5. It did.
Agreed.
It did. Gonzalez. Kyler looking taller, right? Right? Mike Smith, Josh Dobbs is Kyler Murray's weightlifting spotter, apparently. Mike Smith also says, yes, the raccoon video. Exactly right. Fat Jesus says that's the most amazing clip. Yes, it is. We have sources that are getting us inside information on Kyler Murray. Jim Choi, Giants go as far as Saquon's legs. Amen to that, dude. Amen to that. The league knows Jones starts sucking his thumb soon as he sees pressure. You're not wrong. Tarrant County boy, Saquon has a leg up. My guy. Joseph says Daniel Jones got spooned. Seriously. Serious. Daniel Jones or Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Mac Jones would be a better fit.
Wow. What? How do you... Wow, is that true? Was it up to 7? MetLife Stadium claimed 7 more injuries last night. That surface is terrible. How do you take Mac Jones? Like, what about that you've seen from Mac Jones?
Mac Jones plays for Bill Belichick, who is a defensive wizard, not an offensive guy.
But he's got Bill O'Brien there this year.
Yeah,
Bill Belichick gave O'Brien 100% control of the offense.
Yeah, I guess if that's what they're saying. I don't buy that for a second. The hoodie doesn't give 100% of anything to anybody.
That's amazing.
But
I'm not buying it.
I'm just not. I think that, look, man, Mac Jones, to me, is more composed. At least with Mac Jones, he knows what the defense is trying to do. There's half the time where I feel like these sacks for Daniel Jones come because he has no idea what the defense is trying to do. It's what Dan Orlovsky said. Dude, it's basic protection principles on that sack from the corner in the slot.
Yeah.
You have to be able to move your back to account for that guy, and you didn't do it. And to me, okay, it's a situation where, again, I agree. It's not all on Daniel Jones, but he's not helping himself. He's not, like, at least with Zach Wilson, I can say, okay, this guy is now progressing a little bit, right? We've gone from can't do anything to, hey, now he's at least delivering the football in a positive way. That didn't lead to a win, but we were closer. That's a problem for Daniel Jones. And honestly for Mac Jones too, because Mac Jones isn't exactly progressing.
MH5 is back in the comments section to say Daniel Jones must have a kink for being manhandled by strong men, because he's getting it a lot right now. Hope you like it. Jim Choi, Mac Jones got some heart.
Yeah.
He's in a tough spot. He is. Johnny says Daniel Jones would be more accurate by kicking the football than throwing it. That's funny. I love that. LV Seminole, Daniel Jones or Mac Jones, with those two options, it's just time to suck for Caleb. Yeah, but if you're a terrible team and you're tanking for Caleb Williams,
the hoodie's never going to tank for anybody.
But how do you know he'll come and play for you with what him and his dad said this year? That's not at all a concern?
Well, if you're a good team, he'll come play for you. If you're a reasonable team.
But you're not going to get him.
Yeah.
Are the Bears going to get Caleb Williams? Are Carolina? Tennessee? No. I guess he'd play for the New York Giants.
Okay, not a good team, because you're right, they won't get him. But if you're able to trade up to number 1 and you're not in a major market, are you still trading up for Caleb Williams?
I'm not. The Bears cannot trade the number 1 pick. I mean, you have to believe they get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, and if I'm Caleb Williams, I don't know that I want to play there either. Matt,
You can't do it. Jim Choi, Bill O'Brien should have never left Penn State. He probably still the head coach making $6 to $8 million a year at Happy Valley. You're not wrong.
Yeah, but he's a good enough OC to go out and win a Super Bowl, man.
Yep. Gary Wolf, NFL needs to make MetLife replace the field. They have done it multiple. I think aren't they on like 4 or 5 fields in the last 12 months? Like they've replaced it repeatedly.
The issue is surface, not it needs to be natural grass, not turf.
And they won't. They won't, because it's multi-purpose. So they won't. But again, how do you, if you're the Raiders and the Cardinals can roll their turf outside so they can have concerts and water and sun, and there's got to be a solution.
Yeah.
There has to be. There has to be. All right. A couple more, and then we got to get to Taco Bell. Mike Smith. Is it a sad football day when Danny Jones makes Zach Wilson look good? It is very bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. Oh, my God, Dakota. can't be as bad as the turf in the Edward Jones Dome. So when I worked at the great KTRS in St. Louis, that was the worst NFL stadium I'd ever been in.
Because it's garbage.
The worst. And I won't use their names, but the running back and the wide receiver in St. Louis, many, many times, conversations I had with them about how much it hurts, what it does to their bodies. They would play a home game, practice all week, and then go on the road. And they would rather play on the road because their feet and their knees don't swell like they do when they play a home game at the Edward Jones Dome. The turf would, because really all it is pad, turf, concrete. That's all it is. That is all it is. The Edward Jones Dome is a convention center. It's not a football stadium. It's brutal. It is absolutely brutal. Terrible. Salty Drunk says, great show, guys. Appreciate you, Salty. Hope you're well.